There you go. Use your body, dip, drive, and press. Yes. Feet a little bit closer together in the jump position. I actually think that this demographic is actually a lot more rewarding to work with, because although gains are small, they're huge in the daily lives of these people. Okay, slight dip. There it is. There you go, good.
I'm John Van Every. I'm the owner of CrossFit Longevity here in Santa Cruz, California.
I had been doing CrossFit, and I've been talking to my dad about doing CrossFit. He had a couple workouts and he really enjoyed them. I mean, we started thinking that offering CrossFit to his age group would be something that would be very beneficial. And that's, over a couple drinks, that's how it got started.
All right, well, come on, let's go.
I mean, it makes such a difference in people's lives, you know, when they come to me and they're like, oh man, I was able to grab a 50-pound sack of soil and throw it over my back and, you know, carry it in the backyard. Sometimes, you know, I would have had to wait a day before I could get the mailman to help me, or, you know, I mean, just all these little things. Oh, I grabbed the groceries right out of the trunk of my car and one-handed them into my house. I mean, these are things that happen to people every day, and they're happy about coming in here and making those changes and making it happen. And I think that's, you know, really rewarding, especially for a lot of people who can't move very well. I mean, I've always taken for granted that I move well and I can do everything, but I'm eventually going to be that age too. So, you know, what can we learn from that, and how can we prevent, you know, some of the immobility stuff that's going on with that age demographic in the future? All right, Gare, stay real tight.
I would say, like, for example, Gary, one of my members, he's never done anything in his life.
I was the ultimate couch potato. I mean, I didn't even like to move to get the remote control. So I had never, ever gone to a gym, didn't play athletics in high school. Very little, I mean, you know, just sort of intramural stuff in college, so had not done really anything for a long time.
He's been a family friend, and you know, I've been kind of worried about him because he just didn't look good, and so I had him come in here, and he's never done anything, and he's stuck with the program.
I've been doing it since they opened here, which is, I think, November, December, something like that, and I knew John. And he kept talking to me about it since I'd never gone to the gym, never done anything. The most exercise I'd done was walk the dog, and he was concerned about me, and he said, you should come and try this. Well, I guess initially it was sort of dread. Oh no, I can't do this. And then after the first session, it was, well, that wasn't so bad. I got through that, you know, I'm gonna live. And I just didn't want to quit on it. I wanted to give it enough time, and so the more time you do it and the more successful you are, you just feel better.
People had noticed that in his face, the color of his face had changed, and he would never be able to lift up his granddaughter, and now she jumps at him and he can just like pick her up. She's 6, and he said that he was amazed at like the strength increase of just being able to do that.
I've felt so much better. I've got more energy, even though sometimes when you leave the hour you're a little sore, or maybe the next day, but it really has changed things. I have improved my posture and balance and a whole host of things, but I feel a lot better. I feel like I'm 10 years younger, actually.
So I think he's probably had the biggest improvement out of them all.
A lot of people say, gee, you look a lot younger. Now, I can't tell that, and maybe they're being nice. But I think just an overall body tone maybe has done that. And for me, it's, as I said, it's just a lot more energy and just more, I don't know, just if I am doing something physical, a lot more confidence that not going to fall down or anything, because we've worked on all of that stuff.
Dip, drive, press. There you go. Come on, use your body. Jump that up there. There it is. Oh, Gloria, for example, she says she's getting hot flashes again. So what does that, I mean, what does that, she said, well, what does that mean? I said, well, I don't know. What do you think it means? She goes, I got all my hormones back. You know, so she's down here throwing weights around, and all of a sudden she gets a hot flash, you know, like later in the day, and she actually went to her doctor and asked her doctor, what's going on? And the doctor was like, oh my God, you know, like all your numbers are up. What are you doing?
I've been doing CrossFit for 8 months. Before CrossFit, I was cycling and up and down the coast, and when I go to Madison to see my daughter, I would cycle there. And at one time I was training to be in that AIDS ride down to LA. Then we discovered a tumor in my breast, and so I had to go through surgery and radiation and chemotherapy and all that stuff. And afterwards, I stopped working out. I stopped riding, I stopped doing anything, and I was just working a lot. And that was a year ago. And then I just said, oh my gosh, something's wrong. My body has fallen apart. And it was because I hadn't been doing anything physical. And that's not me.
Dip, drive, press, there it is.
What drew me to CrossFit was that I could see that it was hard work, and I know that hard work means that maybe you get some good results. As far as results, I've noticed that I'm much stronger. Before I came in here, I was having problems getting up off the floor. You know, like you go down to reach something, or you sit on the floor and then you go to get up, and you have to have somebody help you up. But I'm much stronger now, so I can do that by myself.
Go, George. You know, George is another member who's like said that he used to use a splitter to split his wood, and he busted out the axe and split all of his own wood.
John is my son-in-law, and that's basically the reason I'm here. I'm supporting him, and since I'm here, I love it. I'm retired, and I don't really do anything for myself other than working outside or something, but I really needed this.
One more, George. There you go.
Feel better during the day, and I'm doing a lot of, I got a little vineyard, so I'm doing a lot of outside work, and I've got more energy.
Good.
My back doesn't hurt as much. I'm an old furniture mover, so I mean, I had a bad back, and my back's a lot better. I can sleep better at night without you know, usually my back would wake me up at night, and now I don't even think about it.
Better?
At my age, I really need to do this. It's like my job now.
I've always worked out by myself previously, except when I was in college because it was a team sport kind of thing. But now it's like, it's kind of nice to see the people, see the improvement with them, and that kind of drags you up too. As they improve, you improve, and it kind of feeds off each other. The workouts are quite intense, but very functional, and they work that way. Machines are on the outs, you're just using weights that have a real world application, like you lift stuff off the ground, you lift stuff off the ground. No machines, nothing like that. And it's been a tremendous experience.
Shuffle, shuffle, explode. Good, Jeff. Nice.
Since I started working out here, my body composition's changed huge. I'm much more fit, much more flexibility, happier.
The 15. Back pedal to 10.
I think people are too attuned to the cosmetic aspect of it, but what it does is it changes your own hormonal profile. So suddenly what you might have been at 65, you're at 45. So like here you get a little growth hormones perk, you get a little testosterone perk. That's what actually changes your body. It's systemic changes that the exercise produces that changes you physically. It's not just the movement of the exercise, it's how your body adapts to it totally. And that systemic adaptation is what really improves your fitness. It isn't just lifting the weight, it's, you know, that the continuous stress that your body adapts to and that you get better at. So, in other words, a less stress, you don't even notice it. So you have to kind of increase the intensity to get the same benefit again. And it's fun. You know, it's stressful, but it's in a fun way. Hard to describe. I've been about 2.5 years. I started with a personal CrossFit trainer for about 2 years, and then got into this class when it started about 6 months ago. About 2.5 years is what I've been doing it. Oh, the energy level is incredible. I mean, I'm 65, and the things I can do now I couldn't do 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Didn't think I could do, you know, jumping up on boxes, sprinting, and flexibility. And again, I'm still 65. I'm not trying to say that, you know, I got the body of a 20-year-old, because I don't. But physically, I feel really great, and lost about 7 or 8 pounds. Muscle, definitely rekindle a lot of muscle mass I didn't have before. So muscle can be built if that's what you want to do. And flexibility. It took me 2 years to break parallel. Basically, my hips are so tight, even though I play handball, incredibly tight. So there's a lot of things about your body you learn about when you CrossFit too that isn't what it should be. A lot of low back pain I've had. Don't have it anymore because your core is much stronger. Everything's much stronger. Inside, hormonally, you get old because it's not being developed. I mean, hormones kicked into your system, all of a sudden you feel like you're, you know, 30 years old again because you're strong and you're emotionally better, insulin's better, all the good stuff, hormonal stuff is kicking in. I think it wards off a lot of, you know, a lot of illnesses. I mean, there's a lot of documentation about that. Obviously controversial, but the people who are doing this don't feel like they're going to get any of those things.
Gary is one that he got taken off his, I think it was his cholesterol and his statin altogether. Same thing with my dad. They took him off all of his stuff too. George's triglyceride levels dropped at his last blood draw, I guess it was. And Gloria was taken off, I think, some of her hormone therapy medication. These are all, you know, biological and hormonal changes that are happening just from, you know, getting off the couch and training, and this type of training.
The profound awakening is that as you get older, you get weak. If you don't continue to do CrossFit, for instance, do something that's going to keep you strong and healthy and challenge your bones and, you know, keep things moving, your arms, your legs, all the joints.
You don't have to get old physically. You don't have to. If you want to, that's easy. But you have to get out. You gotta get off the couch.